Hi, this is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today. I'm in Las Vegas at the PubCon conference with Brad Geddes, who's an expert on quality score as it relates to AdWords, Google AdWords. What is quality score?
So quality score is a metric Google uses to determine how relevant your ad is to a consumer and how relevant your keyword is to a consumer. And quickly, where you show up in the search results and how much you pay is your max cost per click times your quality score. The higher the quality score, the lower you'll pay per click.
So quality score would be on a scale of 10 being high, 1 being low. The higher the quality score, how does that affect your price?
The less you're going to pay per click.
Okay. So what are the components now that make up this quality score and affect it?
The most important component is your click-through rate on Google.com. So Google looks at how relevant your ad is to the user at that moment in time.
On Google.com, you mean on their search engine?
On their search engine only.
Okay.
So content network click-through rate, which we'll talk about in a moment, does not affect anything.
Okay. So if I were to rewrite my ad to get a higher click-through rate, that could help that quality score go higher.
Tremendously. So one of the most important things to do is look at your ads and how relevant they are to the user in conjunction with that keyword. The higher the click-through of the ad copy, the better your quality score is going to be.
Okay. What are some other components?
The relevance of the keyword to the ad copy. So Google looks at this keyword, so maybe you have a keyword, the flowers. If your ad copy says roses, those are closely related items.
Okay.
If your ad copy said chocolates and your keyword is flowers, they're not closely related. And so they look at how close related those two items are and the relevance to a user.
Google's really big on relevance. It's kind of their mantra over there that they want to make searches as relevant as possible to their customers, which are their searchers.
Exactly.
And so if we end up with stuff that isn't relevant, Google's going to downgrade us.
Exactly. Well, that's how they also make money. They make money in advertisements. So the more relevant something is, the more someone clicks on it, the more money Google also makes.
And it sounds like this quality score helps to mold advertisers into something that's going to make them money and the advertiser money both.
Exactly. It's not a bad mantra. Relevance is what we're all looking for. We do search online, we want to find information. So Google's making sure that advertisers are giving the searchers that information.
What are some other components of quality score?
A fairly new one is geographic factors. So Google looks at what your click-through rate is in Los Angeles versus Seattle. And if you do much better in Seattle, they might give you a bump in quality score in that geographic area. So that will be one. Landing page is another large one. So how relevant your landing page is to the user.
So if they click on an ad and get what they're looking for, Google's happy. If it's kind of bait and switch, the quality score is going to plummet and the price of the ad is going to rise dramatically.
Exactly, as well it should. If you click on an ad and you get a bait and switch, you're unhappy with the search result, you as a consumer aren't finding information. So Google's making sure that you're transparent to the consumer.
What this says to me also is that if we have a campaign with several groups of keywords, we would be well served in having a landing page for each group that shows a high relevancy tie-in.
Exactly. So when you think of the search process, you have a group of keywords, they should be very closely related. You have an ad copy that should explicitly explain those keywords. The landing page should go in conjunction with those.
How much navigation stuff should be on the landing page?
That's a really tricky one. There's two schools of camp. There's the one school that says give consumers everything they want to see. The other school, it's usually more conversion-based, which says remove a lot of the navigation. I think for comparison shoppers, they hate the no navigation pages. So I think you can have a page with little navigation, but still for people hunting around, let them go back to your main site.
Now does Google, does that affect quality score?
To some extent. If you have no navigation at all, you're going to see a lower quality score. Okay. User has less options.
No pop-ups on the landing page.
Pop-ups haven't been allowed for a long time now.
Any other bad things to make sure you don't have in your landing page?
Look at privacy policies. It's always important. If you collect personal information, you collect credit cards, you collect email addresses, you need to have a privacy policy. Google will give you a bonus for having one. That's the transparency to the consumer.
Now, you can have a program, a landing page, to have a dynamic keyword insertion in the headline, which might increase the relevancy.
In most cases, it doesn't make a difference. If the keyword is roses and your headline is flowers on sale and you have the word roses in your text, that's very close related. I've seen some people in incredibly competitive industries, we're talking $10, $20 click prices, something like that can be very useful to do. If you're in an area of $1 to $3 click prices, you're not going to see a difference.
What are some other factors that affect quality score that we ought to be aware of?
Those are the major factors overall. What's important to note, though, is that that's the search quality score. There's a different quality score on the content network.
So a content network then is like the New York Times or Web Marketing Today. It's not a search site, it's a content site where they're reading articles.
Exactly. So the consumer's reading an article on the page and they see ads related to the article.
So what's the difference?
The difference is you don't always have a chance for a click on content sites. Consumer is not engaged in searching behavior, they're reading an article. So Google does not look at the click-through rates for content overall to determine quality scores.
So there's a different quality score for the content network than the search network.
Exactly.
Very good.
So major factors for content are click-through rate on a specific site. So do they get a better click-through rate at Web Marketing Today than at New York Times? If so, it makes sense for Google to show them more at Web Marketing Today.
Okay.
And then landing page is the second major component of content quality score.
So quality score is going to make a big difference in your return on investment for pay-per-click advertising. So it ought to be something every advertiser should be looking at very carefully.
Yes, it is more important to know your quality score than to raise and lower bids. It should be your first optimization technique.
All right. Well, Brad, thanks for sharing with us. Tell me about your business and what you do.
So PG Theory is a consultancy who does training for advertisers and agencies on PPC and SEO. We also do seminars with Google. So we put on full-day in-person seminars on AdWords and best ways to market your company. And we also do for the large companies product definition and Salesforce positioning, all the fun large aggregator items.
All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us. This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.